in the beautiful island of St. Kitts, and I'm in the area called Lyme Kill. It's a development that's actually just on the edge of town, going towards the veterinarian school. And the reason I'm going through this actual area here is I'm gonna kind of just give you a quick span here. This is actually an area that has probably the biggest lots as far as for commercial type use. So if someone wants to get, like an acre, 2 acres, it's the only place you can really get this close to town. There's a lot of churches here. There's a few government buildings, nonprofit organizations, a lot of churches down here though, because it's got a lot of room and parking that you can have. Lots here run anywhere from around, I'm gonna give you US dollars, somewhere from around, I'd say 200,000 to 400,000, depending on the size of the lot. Now people will be asking more, but I'm telling you what they're actually selling for. If it's got a building on it, it could be a little bit more. It just depends. If it's a lot of these are 10 buildings for storage units. But it is probably the best place if you're looking for the cheapest place that's close to town. This is where it's going to be at. I'm going to drive down here in a minute where you can kind of see some of the buildings. One thing I do want to tell you though that's nice is, in fact, I'll just pull down here and drive real slow, is there is no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate and inheritance taxes in St. Kitts. And get this, there's no income tax on rental properties, rental income. Now, so we're looking at, this as far as income tax in these taxes as far as St. Kitts go. Now, if you're in a high tax country like Germany or France and you're living there and you're buying down here, then that's going to be different. You're going to have to, those countries tax worldwide income. So you'd have to de-tax yourself there residency wise to get out of that and move down here. If you're a U.S. citizen, you can qualify for the foreign earned income exclusion and earn up to a little over $200,000 a year with husband and wife if you file joint, and then you use her income and your income, or if it's per person, it's a little over $100,000 per person. That goes up every year. Now you can get your taxes to zero just using the foreign earned income exclusion with U.S. taxes as far as earned income. It doesn't affect investment income, estate taxes, stuff like that. The foreign earned credit doesn't help you. If you want to get around that, I'm talking about around all taxes, you would have to relinquish your U.S. citizenship to do that. But you don't have to do it. It just depends on what you want to do. And we can show you how to get your taxes to zero legally doing it. But you might have to do some relocations. In fact, in most cases, you will have to relocate. Okay. We can help you as far as where you are inside the U.S., but it's not going to be as much as if you move outside by far. I'm going to drive down here in a minute and just kind of show you some of the buildings and stuff that's around here so you can kind of get an idea of what it actually looks like. One thing I will tell you that St. Kitts is tied to the EC dollar. They use the EC dollar, which is tied to the US dollar. 1 US dollar equals 2.7 EC dollars. And what you'll find out is the EC dollar, of course, holds up when the US dollar holds up. But where these properties really take off is when the US dollar plummets. And the reason why is it's cheaper for people over in Europe and other places to invest here then. So that's what you want to be looking at, is when the dollar is down low. Now the dollar is high right now, so this is a good time to be buying, because once the dollar plummets, this is when they have a frenzy in buying over here. And we've had a bull run with the US dollar for a long time now, 11, 12 years so far. So, this is just kind of showing you what this looks like here. Trying to dodge around these cars here. But you can see some of these buildings. That looks like there's a club here, nightclub, and beautiful views of the ocean down here. And again, this is called Lyme Kill. It's on the edge of the town. It's just like you're going towards the vet school. There's one vet school and there's 2 medical schools here, which makes it really nice. I'll kind of turn up here where you can kind of see this is a newer road. It was built, but you can see what I'm talking about here, some of the buildings. St. Kitts is a real good place to live because the weather here is really nice all year round. I've been all over the world. I've had any place I've seen where the weather is so nice 365 days a year. It's just incredibly nice here. You can bike ride, sail, go snorkeling, diving. If you like the water sports, there's just tons of water sports that you can do here. And you can see the mountains up here on the countryside. Now the property tax in St. Kitts is 0.20 of 1%. And here's some empty lots out here. These are some lots here that no one, of course, is built on. They're pretty big lots. Some of these are 2-acre lots. And got real good views of Mount Nevis off in the distance. You can see right in the middle there in the ocean. But property tax here is 0.20% of whatever you're buying. To give you an example, that's 15 times less than what you would pay in property taxes in a place like New Jersey. New Jersey is about 2.5%. Here is 0.20% of whatever you're buying. And there's an exclusion of approximately $30,000 on every property you have. And then everything after that is taxed at property tax at 0.20%. So if you got $100,000 that you pay for a property, subtract $30,000 from that, leave $70,000, then you pay 0.20% of the $70,000, which is $140 US a year. That's cheap, real cheap. That's about 15 times less than what you'd pay in a state like New Jersey. And no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax. And you can have 40 properties down here and pay no income tax on all those rentals. I'm really surprised a lot of people in the world, they just don't, I think what it is a lot of people just don't know about St. Kitts and their laws here. They got fantastic laws. If you are in the real estate business and you're tired of high property tax, high income tax on your rental income, and you want to come down here, we can show you how to invest your money and then be totally income tax free. And of course the ocean, these are more lots on the other side. There's quite a few lots here on the other side here. And the lots all the way down here. But if you want to start a business, I'll tell you one business that they really need a lot of, they're real short on this, is storage space. Like these storage warehouses, oh man, they're in short supply down here. That's probably one of the biggest shortages I can tell you that they got down here. It's a real shortage in that type of industry. So if you're thinking about, having a storage business, this is a great place to do it. And remember, no income taxes on the storage rental income. That's the great thing about this. Also, if you want to get new videos as they come out, if you'll hit the subscribe button to the right of your screen, you'll get those out as they come out automatically. And also, I'd like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below and I'll get back with you as soon as I get it. And we don't just deal with St. Kitts. We deal with 74 different countries that are either citizenship by investment or residency by investment countries. And I like St. Kitts because it checks all the boxes. Like I say, I mentioned this on other videos. They allow dual citizenship. It's an English-speaking country. You can get a citizenship and passport here like in 4 months. I'll tell you something, folks. What happens to a lot of people is when they move to other countries, that's the big church there, is when they move to other countries, a lot of people don't think about this. They don't plan ahead of time. But they're barred out of so many business opportunities because you have to have citizenship to do a lot of businesses overseas. So people leave, they go overseas, and they find out they can't do a certain business because they're not a citizen of that country. And then to get citizenship, it might take them, 10, 15, 20 years to get it. UAE takes 30 years before you can even apply. So how do you get around it? You get citizenship quick in 4 months. And that way you've got all the rights that regular citizens do in that country. But the thing is, there are very few countries that will give you citizenship in 4 months. Most all of them are in the Caribbean. And the best one, I think, is St. Kitts because of the visa-free travel. You get visa-free travel to all the Schengen countries. And it's close to the U.S., close to Canada. It's a 3 or 4 hour flight, depending on where you're going. You can get to Miami in about 3 or 4 hours, Canada about 4 hours. There are direct flights to Atlanta, New York, Miami, Toronto, Charlotte, North Carolina. And, if you really want to make a big change in your life and you're tired of high taxes, this is a great place to go. But like I said, we deal with 74 countries. So if you're not interested in this one, you're interested in another one, we can help you out on that. But like I said, this ticks all the boxes. And English speaking, that's a big thing for me. It's hell on wheels when you move to a country and you can't speak the language. It just frustrates you to death. And you end up wasting just tons and tons of time trying to learn the language. Just paying a utility bill, trying to get somebody that speaks English can drive you nuts. Here you don't have to worry about that. Everybody speaks English. It's the main language. So that's the key thing here. And there's a lot of business opportunities here. Like I said, you got a lot more flexibility than if you're a citizen. You can come down here and get residency by getting a property that's at least $300,000 US, but you don't have the right to work. That's the problem. You need to get citizenship if you want to do that. Anyway, if you got a question, just shoot it to us on the comment section below, or go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com. We'd be glad to help you. Any questions that you got, and I'll look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.